Welcome to the webinar on the importance of a credit report. I'm Anu Alade Williams, the host of this program. This program is brought to you by Block Services. We are going to look at the meaning of a credit report, the value of a credit report, how to keep a good credit, and lots more. With me on this program is Mr. Ubon from Block Services. He's a professional in this field and he's here to answer all your questions. Join me as I welcome Mr. Ubon. Welcome, Mr. Ubon, to this program.
Thank you very much, Anu. I'm super excited to be here and I'm thrilled and I'm honored.
We're glad to have you. Hope you had a nice Easter celebration.
Definitely. Yes, I did.
All right. So, on the subject of a credit report, what is a credit report?
Okay. Basically, a credit report is a summary of an individual's loan history. It shows where you've collected loan from, how much you collected, and how much you're expected to pay back on a monthly basis, right? Yes. So this report actually helps the lending company to make informed decisions whether to go ahead to borrow a customer, to give a customer a loan or not to give the customer a loan. So, for example, and if you walk up to me and I don't know you before, you don't know me, and you just want me to give you my money loan. At that point, I'll be a little bit reluctant, skeptical about giving you, because I don't know if you are going to pay me back. All right, but if your family and friends can walk up to me and tell me, this Anu, you can trust her, she have collected loan from me before and she paid back and all of that. If I have those good reports about you, at that point I'll be a little bit relaxed that okay, I can trust Anu with my money. Right, so those reports is what we call a credit report. Right, but this time it's not coming from individual, your family and friends. It's coming from an institution that is licensed to give credit reports. Right, the credit bureau.
So is it the same as a credit score? Because we've come across a credit report and a credit score.
Yeah, the similarity in credit reports is that they both show your character. They both show your eligibility, rather. They show your eligibility to get the loan. So for credit score, it's a number, right? It shows the higher the number, the higher the chance of you getting a higher amount, so to say. So if you have collected loan and you paid back, you've collected loan like several times and you paid back, you discover that you're actually building a good credit score for yourself. You are building the number now for yourself. So for credit reports, it's actually more detailed. It shows your entire loan history, where you've collected money from, how much you paid, and if you made any late repayment, it will also show there. If you default on your loan, it will also show there in the credit report.
All right, thank you so much for clearing that up. So we are here as young individuals trying to grow our funds, trying to grow income, to become a better individuals in terms of building wealth and all that. What's the value of a credit report?
Credit report is very important, especially for lending institutions.
Okay.
So before we even start the processes of giving out a loan, you want to know the character of this person. If this person collect loan, does he pay back? Speaking of character, which is like the 5 C's of credit, which is part of the 5 C's of credit, so it actually shows the extent to which you can trust this person, based on his history, his loan history. So if this person does not have a good history at that point, this customer can actually get loan. But if the person has a good history, of course you would do well to give the person loan. But
how about for individuals that have never taken a loan? Like I, for example, I have a business. And I'm not sure I see myself taking a loan now because of the way it sounds like loan and all that. How do we convince people? Why exactly do we need to take loans? What if we're just comfortable with what we have?
Loan is not something that is scary, So if you don't have a loan history and you walk up to any financial institution and you want a higher, let me see, like a 5 million naira, you want a personal loan of 5 million naira from us, for example, I'll be a little bit skeptical about it because I don't know your loan history. So if you have collected like 200,000 naira before and you paid well, you collected a 2 million and you paid well, you can actually get that comfort now that at least you can get 5 million naira, and I can also trust you based on your history. So it's not totally out of place to say loan is very taking a loan is very important. But of course, you have to collect those loans with a purpose. You have to know what you want to do before you collect the loan.
All right, thank you. For those of you just joining us, we've been talking about the importance of a credit report. We looked at the importance to lending company and to the individual. If you have any questions for the speaker, kindly drop your questions in the chat section as we proceed. Now that you've explained what a credit report is and then the value of it to a lending company, is it safe to say that for an individual, it can help you in terms of an emergency or maybe when you desperately need it?
Yeah, the importance for individual come in where when we say the importance of an individual keeping a good credit. Uh, you can this credit report we're talking about is actually a document. All right, so it's not something that you just hold and keep. Like an individual can just walk into the credit bureau and say, give me my credit report, I want to keep it. So you're not actually keeping it. So but for the individual, it's very important for you to keep a good credit report. It's important for you to pay your loans on time, not default on your loans. So those are measures you can actually help yourself as an individual to keep a good credit report.
Okay, does this mean that there are specific institutions, or do I just walk up to any company and say I want to take a loan, or I just walk up to any company and say I would like to get a credit report? What are the specific industries and the specific companies that are responsible for giving loans or giving credit reports?
So yeah, financial institutions are responsible for giving out loans. Corner Block Services is responsible for giving out loans and other financial institutions. But for credit reports, it is actually the credit bureau. There are bureaus, in charge of giving out credit reports. And the way it works is that every time you collect a loan, an individual collects a loan from a lending company. At the end of the month, the financial institutions give out reports of the loans that individuals collected and how much those individuals pay at the respective times. So with that, they are able to update their system. So the credit report is not something that is static; it's monthly. As you pay, it's updated. As you pay, it's updated. Every repayment you make, it's updated. On the credit bureau platform.
Okay, so a question just came in now. Is it okay if I read it to you? So my name is Ada. I currently lost a job. My job at a financial service. I had previously taken a loan before this time. How am I going to be able to repay this loan?
Okay, so for for Ada, my candid advice would be for her to since she's a job loss. I mean 2020, a whole lot of things happened.
Yeah,
pandemic and the likes, a whole lot of things happened. Some people lost their jobs. Some people did not lose their job but were not paid during that period. So a lot of people defaulted at that point in time. What I would advise at that to do is to maybe take a screenshot of the termination letter or the termination mail. Take a screenshot of it and send it as a mail to the lending company, giving your reasons why you may not be able to meet up with your obligations, right? So even if by tomorrow you want to go to another lending company to get a loan, at least if you show that you sent that mail, it goes a long way to show you have a good character, and that character is actually what we want to see. And I mean, not all lending financial institutions will actually want to put that in their policy to manage such situations. But I mean, some lending companies, I'm sure Corner Block, we have such policies to help us manage such situations. Yeah.
All right. So, in a situation where someone has already maybe had a bad credit report, as the taking loan and ran away or something like that, how would Corner Block Service track such person? I mean, do people just take loans and disappear? And also, when someone already has a bad credit before coming to your company, for example, what do you do in that situation? How can you help such a person? or is
if
that person at a loss? Is it over for that
if you
person?
it depends on how bad the credit report is. If it is that bad, we'll need this customer to go back to those companies and pay up his or her loans, and they will issue him a letter of non-indebtedness, which he will present to us and will also verify. All right. So if you have a bad credit, if a customer have a bad credit, there are no quick fixes in these things. So you have to show that you have, again, good character, right? Pay up your loans and give an issue, and once they issue you the letter of non-indebtedness, show it to us. We're good to go.
All right. Another question just came in now. Is Does corner block service require collateral for loans?
For No, not all loans. We have SME loans, we have personal loans. For SME loans, that's business loans. Yes, we require collateral. But for personal salary loan, we don't require collateral. We don't require guarantor. There's no guarantor, no collateral.
Are you saying that there are different kinds of loans for?
Yeah, there are different kind of loans. For personal loans, that is the salary loans. As a salary earner, you can actually take loan from us, depending on how much. The amount you get depends on how much you earn. So for business owners, we look at your business turnover over the years to determine how much you can earn. So we have personal loans, we have business loans, we have loans that is well suited for public sector staffs. Those people that work with publics and in the public sector, we have loans for them, and they are and it's well suited and well tailored because we liaise with IPPIS, right? So we have a way where we do go about it.
Okay, do you also have a loan for maybe someone's jackpot or something? Because we know the way things are currently in Nigeria, and we want to relocate. Can you give out loans to someone just so that they could relocate?
We have travel loans. I mean, if we have a client that's interested, and of course we have travel loans.
All right. There's another question here. I have currently taken loans and were not able to repay. How can I get myself a better credit report?
Yeah, for such a customer, my advice would be first: why were you not able to make the repayment? Was it loss of job? What happened? Were you overwhelmed? The monthly repayment, was it too much for you to pay and all of that? So I mean, it depends on the client. Now the client have to sit down and look at the reasons why he or she defaulted in the first place. I mean, if it's loss of job, right? So the client can, after getting back the job or before then, did you send a mail to the lending company to tell them that you actually lost your job, attaching your termination letter or the termination mail, as the case may be? And you need to inform them. The whole issue of credit report is about character. That goes a long way to show we can trust this person, right? So if you did lose your job, did you communicate with the lending company, and then after getting a new job, did you start your repayment, or did you just left it the way it was? So I mean, it depends, again, case by case.
All right. So this person is asking he has already taken a loan, but he has not repaid. He's a delinquent. He has not repaid his loan. He still has a bad credit. Like, he took a loan last year, he has not paid.
Okay,
what can he do? How can he revive that situation?
For such a client, my advice would be for him to go back to that lending company, pay up his loan, and collect a letter of non-indebtedness from them. With that letter of non-indebtedness, if you present it to another lending company, they will actually overlook some of those things.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how long, even if it was for a year.
Even if it was for a year, if you can pay up those loans, collect a letter of non-indebtedness. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, thank you so much. So back to the importance of a credit report. What does it mean for a consumer, for the customer?
For the customer, it's very important for a customer to be updated with his or her credit report. It's something that is updated on a monthly basis. So as you pay, if you collected loan, for example, of say 500,000 naira, and you're expected to make 50,000 naira monthly for a period of 1 year. So each month you pay, it's being updated in the credit report. So it's important to follow up with these, reports, because reason being that you may not be aware, but sometimes it may not be updated. You may have a loan running, and you've made the repayment, but it is not updated in the credit report. It's possible. So at that point, if you don't have, back to back, regular checks on your reports, you might not be aware that those reports are not updated. And at the end of the day, if you go to get a loan elsewhere from a company, and it might be an emergency, they will refer back to that report that it was not updated. They will look it as if you defaulted on the loan, but meanwhile you paid and it was not updated. All right, so it's important for every customer to actually check their credit report, and you can check your credit report from the credit bureau sites. If you go to their portal, you log in. Some of them come with a fee, but not that much, about 500 or thereabout. So if you can get that on the monthly basis, do your own check. It will help go a long way.
So that's one importance of keeping a good credit report.
One importance of keeping a credit report. So for keeping a good credit report, we can't overemphasize the importance of keeping a good credit report. We don't know when emergency might occur. I've had a case where a customer called on the weekend and said, by Monday morning, can you please give me this so amount of loan? My child is in the ward about to get medical attention, and she needed these funds for that purpose. If we were able to do that for her. Now, if she had a bad credit report, definitely it would have been a 50-50 chance. But keeping a good credit report, you don't know when emergency might occur. It might be a matter of life, it might be business wise. We've also had clients who did for the sake of LPOs. They need to make supplies to a certain customer, and this customer give them a deadline to meet up with this. They can't raise up the funds on their own, but because they had a good credit report and a good relationship with us, they were able to get that deal and get it sorted. So it's important for every one of us to keep a good credit report.
All right, thank you so much for clearing that. For people out there that want to get loans from Corner Block Services, what are the amounts that are available to them, and how long does it take?
For our nano loans, we give from 10,000 naira to about 500,000 naira. So for our personal loans, we give from 200,000 naira down to 6 million. For our SME loans, we give up to 50 million. And for our public sector loans as well, we can give up to 60 million. And all of this depend on the parameter again. Like I said, your income, your inflow, because we have to put all those in check to determine how much you can get actually.
Okay, so you have loans for businesses.
You have loans, of course.
Do you have loans for students? Students want to access loans?
Yeah, we have loans for students. We can manage it in such a way it can still be a payday loan, but being managed this time around that suits student needs. Yes, we do.
Okay, and how long will it take to get the loan, and how?
Yeah, between 24 to 48 hours. Within 24 hours, you get it.
All right, so you can get a loan for as fast as 24 hours to 48 hours from Corner Block Services. Do also reach out to Corner Block Service for more information. The contact details and social media handles are available on the chat box and are displayed on the screen. So we talked about what a credit report is and the importance of having a credit report. How can someone keep a good credit report?
Well, for number one, I would say don't take loan for somebody you're not sure can repay back. All right. So, for instance, we've had cases where we go through the credit report of a client and we discover that this client collected loan, even though he or she defaulted, but that loan was not actually for her or for him. the client collected it for a friend or for a relative, and at the end of the day, the relative or the friend could not pay back. So it's very important you keep for clients to keep that in mind. Secondly, I'll say another way to keep a good credit report is to, if you feel overwhelmed, every month you make your repayment, right? And you feel overwhelmed. Let me say you are making a 100,000 naira per month and you feel overwhelmed. You can actually reach out to a lending company, probably via mail, or reach out to your account officer and tell them to help you restructure this loan. You have paid this loan for, it's supposed to be a 12-month tenor loan, and now you've paid it for 6 months, and now you feel you have other projects you need to handle, so you don't get yourself fixed up. It's important you can still reach out to the lending company and tell them to help you restructure your loans in such a way where the monthly repayment is now reduced, but the tenor may increase, but the monthly repayment is reduced. At least you are comfortable with paying, say, 50,000 naira monthly, and you can pay that without, with ease and without stress. So it's instead of you to default on your loans, not paying back at all. All right, you can actually reach out to the company to restructure your loans. And number three, one of the ways I'll say to keep a good credit report is to take loan within your capacity. Don't overshoot within your capacity. Don't overshoot yourself. Don't do things out of the ordinary at this time around. So it's just we've seen cases where people come to us for loans and they are using like 80 to 90% to pay back 80% of their monthly salary to pay back their loans on a monthly basis. That's much. You're earning, let me say, 200,000 for example, where you're using 150,000 naira to pay loans on a monthly basis. That's way too much. You live in Lagos, you pay transport fare on a daily basis. So how much will you keep for feeding and the likes, family and friends? So it's very important to take loans within your capacity. Don't overshoot yourself.
All right, so Mr. Ubon, this brings us to a question. You mentioned the person living in Lagos.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, someone earns 300,000 naira living in Lagos and has a loan of, let's say, 500,000 or 800,000 naira. How can such a person manage and pay back such loans and still have savings and still save some money for other things? And then also spend on the transport and then daily needs?
Exactly.
How can such person manage that?
Very, very valid question. First of all, like I said, don't take beyond your capacity, right? You're earning 300,000 naira and your monthly repayments is, let me say, 100,000 naira. At that point, you have 200,000 naira for yourself. You can actually do some projects with it, so your feeding, your transportation, and all of that. You can actually manage yourself with 200,000 naira. So, if you are earning, it's in your own best interest to stay within your capacity. Don't overshoot your budget so you don't get strangled. There's something called loan fatigue. As you may pay the first month, you are cool. Pay the second month, you are cool. Pay the third month. By the fourth month, you start getting fatigued. Like you start getting tired of paying the loan because at that point, other projects are now coming in and you need to sort yourself out. So, the best advice, is for us not to take loans that's beyond our capacity.
So it is possible to have a loan and still structure it to have a bit of savings on the side.
On yourself. For yourself.
Thank you for that. Some people have pointed out that there are some platforms that just show up maybe while they are searching the internet, or some people just put this broadcast to them about some loans. Get this loan fast, you get it in 3 minutes and all that. How do people manage and not fall into some traps that, if they don't know that those platforms are not good platforms, how do they avoid and manage falling into those kind of situations?
At that point in time, it's important we are very careful. All right. So, for instance, somebody walks up to you, or you got the adverts, through your phone, and you are asked to take loan for, say, 500,000 naira, and all they need from you is just your ID card, and they are giving you this loan at a rate of, say, over 40%, and within 7 days. Those are ridiculous You understand? So for us not to fall into such temptations, it's better for you. You know this company. You ask about their standards, their quality. For example, I just talked about restructuring. For to be sincere with you, not all companies have such policy. Not all lending companies have such policy. It has to be a company with standard that can actually, write out such policies to help their customers and the like. So it's important you ask these questions. There are a whole lot of lending companies out there that are just there to, like these loan sharks of a thing. You collect loan, somebody send your contact to your to send your pictures to all your contacts that you collected loan and all of that. So those companies are not licensed in the first place to operate in Nigeria. So it's important one is very careful. First of all, I'll say this policy, they ask them for their policies. Some companies don't even allow policies like early liquidation. You want to liquidate your loan, early termination, which even if you terminate, for us, if you want to terminate now, the interest for the remaining months, you collected a loan for 12 months, and by the 6 months you want to terminate it, the interest for the remaining 6 months, you are not supposed to pay those interests. Some companies, even if you want to terminate at the 3rd month, they'll just put everything, as if you're paying for the entire 12 months to you to pay. So when you're collecting loans, ask these companies about their policies that can actually be of help to you.
All right. Thank you so much for clearing up all these questions. It's been a very insightful and educative session. For those of you just joining us, we've talked about the importance of keeping a good credit report, which is to help yourself in terms of emergency so you can have access to loans. We've also looked at the fact that you should not borrow beyond your capacity. So if you have a certain income, make sure you stay within that range and not exceed it. Also, don't take loans for someone else you don't trust or for someone else entirely. Always take loans for yourself and take loans that are beneficial to you. Don't just take loans because you want to flex around, or just take loans that you will now be tired, as you talked about fatigue, So just take loans that are within your capacity and then try to pay back such loans. Okay, so I can collect loans to throw a big party or to sew a dress for my own there.
And it's fine, but just stay within your capacity. It's fine.
So that means we should just borrow for things that we need,
exactly.
Not necessarily all that. Thank you so much. So what makes Corner Block Services stand out in the credit industry?
So for Corner Block, the Corner Block was built by top professionals in this industry. And the knowledge and experience is not just one-sided, like say, for example, just consumer lending alone. And so it's a brand that is built from ground by top professionals in the financial system. We're talking commercial banking experiences, we're talking investment banking experiences, we're talking consumer lending experiences. So Corner Block is coming together to make the standard more robust. For example, I'm talking about policies now that has to do with restructuring loans and the likes. Not all lending companies will do that. Not all lending companies permit that. The Corner Block is a registered and licensed institution, right, to operate in the lending space in Nigeria. So when it comes to customers' privacy policy, all right, customers can actually trust us with their information because we are regulated. Not just these companies that will just take customers' information and put it out there in the public. So ours is very much regulated. So also we have loans. We have products that are well designed, suited for the market. We have SME loans. We have personal loans. We have personal loans. You're talking about both private sector and the public sector. We have SME loans. We have educational loans. So if you look at this industry very well, if you know this industry very well, not all company cuts down those products to suit the customers, right? They just put it out there. You can get, and to be very frank, some companies, the policy design and the product design, it's not well suited, for example, a public sector, somebody who works in the public sector, the way the loan is designed such that it will favor this particular customer, those particular sectors. So that's how we stand out in this industry.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ubon Edet, for joining us on this program. Thank you for the enlightening session on the importance of a credit report.
Pleasure, sir.
We'd love to have you for more sessions as you enlighten the audience. Thank you so much for joining us for this webinar. I'm your host, Anu Alade Williams. For those of you that have joined so far, thank you. This program is sponsored by Corner Block Services. Do well to check the information and the contacts and social media on the screen, and follow up for more exciting programs for Corner Block Services. Thank you.